Who's going to take pole position here? Verstappen absolutely flying. The championship leader. He is 8 points up on Lewis Hamilton going into this race weekend. Hamilton and Bottas at the moment are first and second on the front row as Bottas goes second fastest. But Verstappen can spoil the Mercedes party and ruin that 1-2 as he hits the wall right at the final corner. Max Verstappen hits the wall and pole position slides out of his grasp.
Yes! In the paddock, F1, Greeny and the Cheese. That was David Croft's call on Sky Sports, courtesy of Formula1.com. We are in the kingdom of Saudi Arabia, which becomes the 34th sovereign nation to host a round of the Formula One Championship. We are 53 and a half miles from the holy city of Mecca. How about that, Michael? Did you know that, sir?
Did not know that.
We are in the city of Jeddah, which lies on the banks of the Red Sea. Jeddah is the second largest city in Saudi Arabia with an estimated population of 4.7 million people. That's a lot of people living near the water in the desert, sir.
Yeah, we're like the second largest city in the U.S., probably third, yeah.
But this is no history or geography show. Oh, no. This is an F1 show. And we are racing at the Jeddah Street Circuit. 27 turns, most on the F1 calendar this year. Second longest track on the F1 calendar at 3.837 miles. 3 DRS zones. It's high speed, full commitment, twists, blind corners, giving it the full beans under the lights, racing Arabian Nights. Yes, you got to get that in there, Michael. You know the song. And what a quality we saw today. Max hits the wall in the final corner on a potential pole lap. How's the gearbox? We'll have to see tomorrow. But Lewis, he must have been on the Spice Melange and had the eyes of a bod, ripping and rocking through the streets of the concrete. Taking pole, Bottas second, Max is third, but we'll see if he starts there. And one last thing. In honor of the passing of Frank Williams, his favorite saying from his favorite movie, Top Gun, and it's just totally fitting for this program and the sport that we love. I feel the need for speed. We're caffeinated. We're medicated. Greeny, good evening, sir.
Good evening, Cheese. I mean, the intro for the penultimate race, there it is. Unbelievable energy. Of course, I expect nothing less from you. Here, at the penultimate race of the season, the penultimate race weekend of the season. Yeah, I thought you were going to go with, and I know Frank Williams' favorite movie was Top Gun, spoke about it a bunch of times over the weekend. I thought you were going to refer to Max and give a little Punch Out Maverick, but regardless, Max only punched out.
That would have been. We're punching out Goose.
Punching out Goose.
Come on now.
We're punching out, but we are not punching out because we have a race tomorrow. We had a qualifying today, and we have a hell of a track, my friend. 27 turns, 3.8 miles. The Jeddah Street Race. They got it done. Believe it or not, they got it done. They were working to that last minute to get that street track done, but it is done. It is looking crazy. Like you said, a lot of blind turns, and you really couldn't justify it until you really saw the track in action today in qualifying. I know we had many issues in practice. We had P2, with Leclerc and Mercedes not looking great in P3, but they come through. Lewis takes front row. First time all season, back-to-back on pole, which is bizarro thinking about the legendary Lewis Hamilton as he is potentially about to win another title. Believe it or not, it's been the season of the Max until now. Cheese, how you feeling about qualifying today? First of all, how you feeling about the whole race weekend so far? Because it has been a crazy race weekend.
I love the track. Let's just get that right off the bat. It is full commitment, full beans. Sector 1 is pretty much the sector of turns. And then it's just get up on it and streamline that car as best you can. Hit the couple quick chicanes, which are sometimes come at you blind. The track is just full speed, full throttle. I love it. I love it. I absolutely gosh darn love it. All to play for. It's all to play for right now.
Everything.
It is all to play for. We'll see what happens with Max's gearbox. As I said there in the opening, that was a pretty decent shunt there to the rear. And these gearboxes, can be fragile when you hit them from the side. And that rear definitely did move. So we'll see what happens with that. Hopefully not. Because if he has to go to a new gearbox, that's 5 spots. That's a 5-spot gear grid penalty. So we'd rather not see that, to be dead honest. Because we want these guys battling it out. This is what we want. It's all the marbles. Coming down, penultimate race, 2 to go. Everything to play for. You want to see these guys go at it like Senna and Prost from the past. This is what it reminds me of. It reminds me of Senna and Prost going at it. This is exactly what it reminds me of.
Yeah. It's been obviously a crazy, crazy season. We talked about it at the halftime show. Anyone want to check back and check out episode 23, the 24-hour Le Mans Wake and Bake special. So, you go back there. We talked about pretty heavily Lewis's chance for a strong second half. Now we have 7 races now. Twice or only once since Monza has Max been on pole in the Grand Prix of the United States. Is the only time he made pole since Monza. When Monza he DNF'd anyway, so pole really didn't matter there. But is this the same Max we've saw in the first half of the season? And is this the same Lewis that we saw in the first half of the season? Because it looks like they kind of switched roles a little bit as Lewis Hamilton here is closing in on a potential 8th title. And I think the world and the F1 world is in absolute shock right now. That was the tire that hit the wall, heard around the world, my friend, because all F1 fans, including, Max's dad there, who almost broke his hand on the freaking control panel there, who was about to smash something. The man wanted to smash something. All 100%. The man's been in a race car before. The man's been in an F1 car before. He knows how it goes down. He was ready to smash something. He was pissed as hell, as we say. So yeah, that's where we are. Unbelievable race. I know we wanted to talk about qualifying. So without further ado, unless you have anything else to say about the track or about anything else going on off the track, we got some qualifying to talk about.
Let's do it, sir.
All right, Q1. What you got, son?
Aston Martin, a big fat can of nope. Where has Aston Martin gone? From last year, with the pink Merc coffee, I guess. When you got to build your own car, it gets a little tough out there, huh? It gets a little tough, it seems.
Yeah,
maybe the green ain't working for him either. Maybe they got to go back to the pink. Maybe the green ain't working. But they just absolute struggle. Seb even seemed shocked on the radio. But they struggled all weekend, to be honest. Just
it seems like a tough
pace.
track.
No pace. Just
seems like a tough track. They're not hitting they're not hitting the speed that they want to hit in those straightaways, and that's pretty much this entire race. It's a full throttle race. Interestingly enough, everyone's talking about Sector 1. I think 15, 16, 17, I think those turns were definitely tricky. A lot of blind turns. There's blind turns everywhere, and obviously 23, 24, 25. Sector 3 was tricky as well. But, talking about Q1, Bottas's power unit dies, like on that home stretch there. That was, something to definitely take note of. We'll see what happens tomorrow. When your car just dies for no reason, you got a little bit concerning there.
Well, they had just finished putting the new engine there in right before quali. Like they're buttoning that bad boy up there.
Yeah,
right at the end there. So maybe somebody didn't plug something in there.
It's potentially doesn't some like when I'm putting together a car or a vehicle. Usually something's not plugged in or broken or corroded. But that's me. I'm not in the F1 pit crew. Yeah, and another point of note, we are rooting on Nikita for next week because he would be the only driver this year to not make it into Q2. Once again, he's eliminated in Q1.
He's got no chance. What are you talking about?
He's got a chance. He's got a chance.
No.
We'll root. All of us Haas fans around the world are rooting because we are going to see Nikita Mazepin all next year. We're going to see him all next year.
Unfortunately, yes.
Buckle up. Buckle up. And that's all I got to say. That was my Haas point for the week. There it is. So that is Q1 for me.
Well, thanks for your trash. Thanks for your
Haas and again, as Aston Martin, it's shocking. It really is a little bit shocking to see them both. The weekend was rough for them, but it wasn't that rough where they're going to come in outside of the Haas's. That's it for Q1. So we want to roll up to Q2 and tell me how you feeling about Q2, my friend.
Carlos Sainz. I don't know what happened there.
The 2 thumbs down. Wish I had 2 more hands for Carlos Sainz.
Oh, seriously. Absolutely just front end rear just going on him. He couldn't get the left front onto the curbs at all, and it would just snap there in, what's that, 6 or 7? Just not good enough, especially when you're fighting for that 3rd spot. That's just not good enough. Looked fine in Q1, had a very good laps in Q1, and then it just all goes away in Q2 when you put on the mediums. I mean, it's not good enough. Not now. Definitely not this time of the year. Can't have it. But on a positive note for Q2, how about Gio? Gio getting into Q3. His final 2 races at Alpha. You got to give it up to the man. We've ripped the man enough throughout the season. And, for those reasons that he did get ripped is probably why he doesn't have a seat next year.
He's going to be in Formula E next year.
Also,
he's going to seat in Formula E, which could be the future of Formula 1, but I digress. Continue.
That's great and dandy. Probably losing that seat maybe because a little money there too with the Chinese driver coming in brings a lot of money back in. So, but it's good to see Gio last couple of races here getting there in the Q3, and that's what I got for Q2, sir. Do you have what you got?
Yeah, I mean, besides Yuki Tsunoda slipping in there, and I don't know if you had Yuki in your Q3, but
I did.
How about Valtteri Bottas? His 100th start with Mercedes and his 100th Q3. I mean, you got to be a little impressed there. You got to be actually a little more than impressed. What it takes to do it 100 times is unbelievable. And he was not, he's driving a great car, but Valtteri Bottas, 2 more races to go. Let's see if he can do 101 times. It'll be actually pretty funny if he doesn't make the Q3 next week. But he does this week, 100 out of 100. I'm pretty impressed, regardless of the vehicle. And Bottas can't keep the seat, 100 out of 100. So,
well, he doesn't keep his seat because he doesn't have the points total. He's on.
We talked about it. Yeah, I know. He should be.
Toto ain't having it.
Listen. I mean, he had a very weak first half.
He is a flying Finn. He's going to be around for a bit. He's a good driver. So he's going to Alpha, but he wasn't bringing the goods that Merc wanted. So you're not finishing second. You better be winning. That's the Mercedes way, and George Russell's going to be finding that out pretty soon.
Yeah. Well, the man will take a champion spot next year with Kimmy out. So we'll see what he can do. I'm excited for Valtteri next year. These last couple months really showed something. He had 3 out of 4 poles. That stretch there. So much love to Valtteri. I know we don't give him all as much love as probably he deserves sometimes. He does screw up on race day a lot. He does have a lot of tough times, but he's had a really good second half, and it's pretty impressive. So that is my Q2. I know you have a whole bunch to talk about in Q3. So without further ado, I'll roll the red carpet out for you, sir.
All right.
The floor is yours.
Well, thank you very much, sir. Appreciate it.
The floor is yours.
Well, let's go with, I got a couple things here. We only got 1 Alpine in the top 10, but there is 2 AlphaTauris in the top 10. Gasly 6th and Yuki 8th. That's a big fight going on there for that number 5 spot in the constructors. That's big cash money there. So AlphaTauri had a horrid outing 2 weeks ago. Got to make up for it because they dropped back a good 20 or 20 plus points to Alpine, so they got to make that up. Fernando, starting, I think around 13th or 14th. So, Fernando's usually a good driver on race day. You might make up some points, but if you're AlphaTauri, you're happy about that performance because you need to make up some points and make them up quick. And then we'll go to the other red car, Charles Leclerc, 4th.
Where'd that lap come from?
4th.
Where'd that lap come from?
He was pretty quick. He was throwing out some good laps all weekend, Charles. He seems to be hooked up here. I mean, he did have pole at Monaco, if you remember earlier. So, he did have a very high start also at Baku.
To disastrous finish. Yes. I'm very impressive in the tree races this year. Absolutely very impressive.
Maybe you put these little concrete walls around and he comes alive a little bit. Gives him that little extra juice or,
tunnel vision.
The tunnel vision helps him out a little bit here. So, but yeah, we're going to take that. It's big for Ferrari. You're ahead of all the McLarens.
Second row.
Charles has got to, Carlos has to do some things to get in front of the other McLaren, but that's huge for Ferrari. Absolutely huge.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty obvious. I mean, if Sainz can finish top 5, if Leclerc can finish top 5 and Carlos can somehow manage his way into the points, I think it's over. I mean, it's like 40 points. It's over. It's like over. So if you keep, it's done.
It ain't over till the fat lady sings, sir.
It's done. And if you went into, I think the other part, we're here in the U.S. right now, but if you went to Europe right now, those who I've spoken to in Europe think it's over and Lewis Hamilton has already had the championship. So, listen.
Who are you speaking to in Europe? Who do you got on speed dial in Europa, sir?
They know, they truly believe it's over and that Lewis has no chance of not winning his 8th. So, with the same logic, I guess, but I think you're insane. I think Ferrari basically sealed up 3rd. If they make it past over the finish line, it's over. It's over. And, with Danny's performance today, which we didn't talk about, but with Danny's performance today, they got no chance. But I'm sorry, the floor was yours for Q3, but that's
I had passed the baton, sir.
Yeah, so yeah, that's anything else I got in Q3. We take a look. I mean, listen, that Honda engine looked pretty freaking good today.
Not as good as the Merc.
Not as good as the Merc, but the Honda engine looked pretty good, and I think you'd be having a different story if Max was able to complete that lap and be up 0.4 of a second. I think if he didn't touch the wall, I think we would have a different opinion.
Well, coulda, woulda, shoulda, sir.
Coulda, woulda, shoulda, but I think the Honda engine looked excellent today. I think it looked great in the straightaways.
It's looking great all season. So Honda is starting to second guess them about leaving, actually. To be honest, so the Honda's massively improved.
Massively.
It's actually a little bit of a shame that they're, leaving, but it is what it is. I think it's a dumb move, especially where you've gotten the motor to at this point. To get it to where it's, massively competitive against the Merc and then leave, I think is, put it bluntly, asinine. But I digress.
The money's got to make sense. The money's got to make sense. But with that, we have a lot more to come because I'm assuming I'm going to end up in the Quizmasters cockpit.
Oh yeah.
Or you're in, and I'm taking a lap around, and most likely going to embarrass myself this evening once again. So we'll see about that. So stick around for that. We also have the penultimate week of some gambling madness. We got some things to throw your way. So Greeny and the Cheese in the Paddock F1. Hit us up on Twitter in the Paddock USA. We'll be back. Greeny and the Cheese. Yes, Saturday night, Greeny and the Cheese in the Paddock F1. You have come to the right place. If you want to know everything about F1, and if you want to see your boy Greeny get embarrassed, because I'm taking a lap around the track here. Now, I know it's been a long season. Before we get to Greenybucks, of course, which is another embarrassment of mine, I figured, and we'll get to that momentarily because it's a wonderful, little punching out kind of Top Gun night. Whew, it's getting hot. All right. So yeah, man. So I know you got some stuff for me. I know you want to beat me up. I know you want to try to embarrass me a little more. I think. And by the way, we do have one more week left. We are here tomorrow for our Sunday night show. We are back again next week for Saturday and Sunday night for the final race weekend. And then after that, we're going to have our Christmas spectacular, as we talked about. And we did tease this last week, so we will talk about it tonight. Our YouTube channel will go up. It will be our first video, will be the Christmas holiday F1 spectacular. I'm very excited for it. We've been working on it all season long. It's going to be spectacular. So hopefully you guys can join us for that. We'll give a lot more information for that in the coming weeks. Also, you can find us on Twitter in the Paddock USA. So you'll get the updates there. So if you're looking for the YouTube or wherever we're going to be, especially during the off season, we're going to give you a little some stuff during the off season, as well as the new Greeny and the Cheese Sports Spectacular show coming your way in 2022. So a lot coming up here. So you definitely want to follow in the Paddock USA on Twitter for all those updates. Cheese, I'm ready, man. I'm going to throw my helmet on, and I'm ready to take a lap in the Quizmasters cockpit. So,
all right, sir.
Well, actually, no.
I have 3 questions for you. One of them is a 2-parter.
Oh, sorry. Just testing.
Well, you might need that noise ready, so just to make sure. Probably a good thing to test it out there, sir.
You got a little test the buzzer. It usually works, but sounds like
we usually hear it a lot. So
continue, please.
I hope you were paying attention to my opening, sir. Because this first question, the answer was in there.
Like the teacher. Were you taking notes? Because we gave you all the answers to the test. All right, go ahead.
Well, because this is the inaugural race in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia at the Jeddah Street Circuit, there's not a lot to go on, to go in the past or anything about the races. This is the first one. So, question 1. How many miles are we from the holy city of Mecca?
Oh, you son of a gun. Is it 35?
No! No! This is why you're supposed to pay attention. Give it to me. Let's hear it. You did a preemptive one. Let's hear it.
Oh, I gotta get a buzzer?
Give the buzzer. You get a buzzer for that. You're wrong. You're wrong.
That's a BS. That's not a racing question.
Sometimes they're about where we are, sir. Last race in Qatar, the third question pertained to a giant yellow stuffed teddy bear in the middle of the airport. So you got to pay attention. I gave you the answer in the beginning.
What was the answer again?
So 53 and a half miles.
50. You said I totally dyslexic move. I said 35, 53.
Yeah,
I got the right numbers. I got the digits correct in the wrong order.
You're wrong, so you get the buzzer.
Right.
Question 2.
That's a red sector. Go ahead.
Who has the most overtakes going into this weekend?
God, jeez.
And part 2 of the question, and how many does he have? You wanted a racing question. There's your racing question.
It's like Seb have 110 or something.
Sebastian Vettel is correct for part 1.
No, but not 110.
But not 110. That is incorrect for part 2. It is 102.
Oh, it's close.
But it's incorrect. We'll give you a ding. That's right.
I got you. Production has got you.
Usually production is sleeping on the job.
It's not easy. It's not easy staring at your face this whole time. So go ahead.
Sit on and rotate, sir.
Continue, sir. Continue before I crash out here.
And your final question.
Oh God.
Lewis Hamilton had the eyes of a bod and it was in Wynn's poll today. How many does that make for Lewis this season?
It's not many.
No, it is not.
Is it 6?
Close, but no.
Not 6.
5 is the number. 5 was the number we're looking for.
I should have known that one.
So that is an 0 for 3. Well, you know what? We're going to give you an 0 for 4 because you missed. No, I'm sorry.
No, I got one. Come on.
I was a 1 for 4.
I got Seb. I got
1 for 4. We'll give you you got the first part of the 2-parter.
Mecca.
But out of the 4, you get 1. Hey, I gave you the answer to the Mecca. I gave it to you in the opening.
Whatever.
Well, now we move on to another segment where you pretty much stink at. And I don't know about what you were saying before. I wanted to cut in on you earlier in the first segment, but I'll let you just roll. Because you were rambling about, I bet this and I bet that. Well, I don't know if anybody wants to take any of your bets on the way you trolled through this season in Greenybucks, which is where we are right now. Because I am the Lord of Greentopia, high on top that mountain. I have gone over the 2,000 Greenybuck mark after starting with only 1,000. Mike is in the pits. He's poor. He's scrambling on the streets. Trying to, I don't know what kind of games he's playing out there, but he's doing something. Maybe he's turning tricks to feed the kids. But it's time for Greenybucks. Not like it really matters. Since you're pretty much toast and you waved.
You don't have over 2,000, by the way. You don't have over 2,000.
Well, we'll probably finish up there after the next couple races.
We'll probably finish up there, getting a little greedy. So far, you are at 1,710 Greenybucks, started with 1,000. So 71% return on your money. Pretty good ROI, if you ask me. And I'm all the way down. Jeez, this can't be 260. That can't be right. We did a recount.
The
I had to
recount makes
count
you
and-
worse. You brought the
I know.
recount in, and I told you don't
It
do
went
it.
down. It went
I told
down.
you
You
don't
went
do
up.
it. I
It
told you
was
don't do it.
But it was the right thing to do.
I told you
had to
not
be
to do it.
accurate. You had to be accurate. We had a couple miscounts in there. It's a lot of math going on during the season. But here we are, the penultimate race of the season. What are your thoughts? You want to let's hear your thoughts. You get to pick the direction this week because you are Lord and Master. So go ahead, Lord and Master.
Well, this week we're going to go 4 bets this week, sir. Bet 1. Will there be a safety car? And I am betting on the yes.
Oh, that's an easy bet.
20 Greenybucks. Mark it down.
Yeah, I'm going to bet yes on the safety car as well. But because I don't have a wealth of money left, shoot. It's like almost like I want to bet 50 just to double that up, and that's a pretty good bet. Although you're probably not going to get 2-1 on your money for that. I'm obviously going to go yes as well. But this is my high confidence bet, so I'm going to go 50.
Woo!
Because might as well go down to either 0 or work it here. I'll leave myself like an extra, 50 Greenybucks here. Let's do a little math. So I'm going to spend 210 tonight. Leave myself with 50 for the last race, just for something to bet on. Toss most of it on a trifecta that's out of control and hope for the best. So that's my plan for next week. This week, 50 Greenybucks. I got 210 to spend. Let's do this. Tell me, sir, who do you think the biggest gainer of the week is going to be?
I'm going to take Carlos Sainz. Give me 20 Greenybucks.
20 Greenybucks.
He's got to make some moves. Q1, he was quick, and then he just, I don't know what the heck happened. But we're going to gamble. 20 Greenybucks. Sainz, he's got to make some moves. Got to move up front. Clinch third for Ferrari. Let's do it, sir. Who you got, son?
Yeah, I'm going to go with a former champion here as we go through the championship gauntlet here. And I'm going to go with Sebastian Vettel.
I knew you were going there.
Most people this year. So the most passes this year. I'm going to go 20 Greenybucks on that. But that's he's the king of the passers. So, might as well make him the biggest gainer. 20 Greenybucks against your 20 for your boy Carlos Sainz. Always hard to root for the home team because it's a double loss for you. But obviously, you're just scoffing at everything because you're the king of the world here. But
well, yeah, that's what happens when you have to kiss the ring, sir.
Continue, sir. Which means
we're gonna go. Winner? I'm gonna take Lewis. 20 Greenybucks. Mark it down. We'll send this bad boy in the next week. Lewis will be in first in the points. Let's get it on. Lewis, 20 Greenybucks, winner.
Yeah, how damn interesting would that be? It looks like it's going to wind up as a Lewis Max 1-2 again this weekend. Although it could get a little crazy. I'm going to go with Max. For the win. It looks like a Hamilton fall, as we thought it might be. But yeah, I got to go with Max because he's got to win this, and I think he'll pull out all the stops. He might crash out. Because he was so hyper aggressive. I don't think the radio did him justice. Maybe Horner and the crew back on the other side of the line will do him a little more justice and giving him a little more information. I don't know what that information fed was, if there was any, that he needed that last lap or, that Lewis took, in qualifying. So I'm a little worried about communication with Red Bull, but they got to win this. They have to win. And so does Mercedes. But I'm going to go with Max for the win. It's going to be a wild race. That's for darn sure.
Okay.
Trifectas, sir. Trifectas.
I am going to go 20 Greenybucks. Lewis, Max, Bottas. Don't see it any other way. Simple, neat, tied up in a bow.
Right on. I'm obviously going to go a little on the wackier side
Of course
this
you are.
time because I have to, and I'm going to go with 100 Greenybucks. You ready? Are you ready?
I'm sitting down.
Because I think once again, the odds of a Max Lewis crash out are probable. Possible. I don't know about probable.
Yeah.
Which leaves me a Bottas, Leclerc, Perez, 1, 2, 3. Put it in the books. I have to bank at this point for 100 Greenybucks, so I'm probably going to get. I might end up with 1,000 Greenybucks. That might put me back over top again. But obviously, at this point, if I'm going to pick Max and Lewis to be on the podium, I'm not going to get the numbers I need. So we're going to go a little wild here as we finish up and dwindle down for the season and pack our bags up because looks like we'll be checking out. I should have reported from a beach in Mexico this week based on my previous numbers here. But
you couldn't afford to live on the beaches in Mexico.
No, I mean, I could squat on a beach in Mexico. I'm not saying I'm living in a house. I'm saying on the beach, sir.
Gotcha, sir.
Las Playas Más Fina. The very fine beaches of Mexico. Yes.
A little Acapulco?
A little, yeah. You know, if the gangs don't get you. But they don't want poor Americans anyway. So, yeah, that is my bets for the week. I'm hoping for an all-out win. Obviously, you know, Max Verstappen was just, you know, I'm just rooting for Max this week. And I was up on, I mean, who wasn't standing up on that last sector for qualifying? I mean, I was on the couch for that last sector of qualifying and unreal. I mean, the entire race world was watching that sector. Really was. He puts down 2 purples. So I'm really rooting for Max. I don't know if he was actually legitimately faster or just pushing it so hard and he can't maintain that for tomorrow.
He was on the limit. That's what he was. He was straight on the limit.
Yeah, I mean, that was about as fast as you're going to go. And I don't think he's going to be able to do that for, what do we got, 50 laps tomorrow? I don't think he's
51?
51.
Lewis does have 4-lap older tires to start the race on.
He does have 4-lap older tires. You know, is that going to be a factor? Is it going to be a 2-stop race? We'll see. We'll see. If it's a 1-stop race, it might be a factor. If it's a 2-stop race, it'll be less of a factor.
I think it's a 1-stop, to be honest. There wasn't a lot of deg. Didn't see him on the tires, so.
No, it didn't. It didn't. The tires look pretty good. The track was still about 100 degrees Fahrenheit. But
you're on it. That's what happens when you're in a race. That's what happens.
Get a lot hotter. It can get a lot hotter than that. We've seen it. We've seen it hotter even at night. We've seen some circuits that were hotter than that, over 110, Fahrenheit on those tracks. So we'll see what the temperature of the track's going to be. We'll see what the tire degradation looks like. A lot of factors. It's not a straightforward race. It's anything but a straightforward race tomorrow. Anything but. But I like Leclerc tomorrow. I think he's going to make up for that, debacle in Monaco.
I'd love to see it. I don't see it.
I know you'd love to see it. But we'll see.
We'll see what happens. I come out of my skin if that happened,
But yeah, as Crofty said at the beginning of the program today, if you have not been watching Formula One this season, where the hell have you been? And if you have not watched or have not paid attention, which many, many people have, because I've seen the massive uptick in listeners. So it's been awesome this week, seeing the massive uptick in listeners, triple what we normally get in a normal week. So, it is, we know people are listening that normally aren't listening, because I just look at the statistics every day and watch those numbers pouring in, which we've never seen before. So thank you for all the fans out there, truly all over the world, that have been tuning in and listening now in droves, which has been unbelievable. So thank you all so much. Of course, we are on Twitter, In the Paddock USA. Check us out. Hit us up. And of course, the YouTube channel, which we're going to have some amazing things going on there. We're going to have stuff all winter long. So follow us all winter long. We're going to bridge that gap between this season and next season. And we have a lot more stuff coming up for 2022 as we wind down here in 2021. What do you got to say, homie?
Should be a humdinger tomorrow. All to play for. Full beans. Concrete walls. Get ready for some fun stuff. And as always, stay medicated, my friends.
We'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for everyone for tuning in. Again, thanks for everyone who's been tuning in all season long. It's really been an unbelievable first season here at In the Paddock F1 with Greeny and the Cheese. You guys have really, really, really been awesome. We've just really have some of the greatest fans all around the world, and it's been overwhelming. I'm sure for Cheese as well. It's been beyond overwhelming this season, all the outpouring. So stick with us, and let's finish off 2021 strong. We will see you tomorrow. Peace.
Peace.